Hello everybody, Kris Overstreet, the Redneck Gaijin here. I've posted a couple of videos mostly asking for help with Assetto Corsa Competizione, and ever since then I've felt considerably guilty about how negative they were. The flat fact of the matter is, I enjoy driving in Assetto Corsa, but Assetto Corsa Competizione has been unpleasant at best and outright torture at worst. Assetto Corsa Competizione does one thing very well, but it only does that one thing, and that one thing is GT racing. And the problem I have is GT cars are not the kind of car that I enjoy racing. At least not virtually, and I certainly have neither the time or the inclination or the money to go find out in real life. But as I said, the outright rage and anger and negativity in the previous videos left me feeling very guilty about that, and so I decided I was going to put together a video of what came after I got help using those videos. Specifically, this is the race I did at the end of the September 2022 Amateur League put on by oNiD Racing. The whole point of the Amateur League, of course, is to help people improve in their race driving. And I entered it hoping that whatever I learned here would apply to other racing in other games as a generality. I don't think I actually reached that goal, but I did have, well, I don't want to spoil it too much, but let's just say it was nowhere near as bad as the previous two videos were. And so, without further ado, let's go into qualifying, beginning with a bit of a clip from the live stream that was done for the race. Okay, it paid off. Oh shit, it paid off, except I... Fuck!
If he's got the tyres and fuel, so...
And we've got Overstreet, who's is a second up on his time at the moment.
Oh, wow.
He runs wide. Oh no, invalidates, and that's his qualifying over, unfortunately. That would have been a big jump up the field for him, unfortunately.
But even if you're, even if that happens, it's not too bad. I mean, it's at least you know the pace is there.
Exactly, it gives you a bit of confidence, doesn't it, for the race?
Yeah, it's hard to get a valid lap in qualifying sometimes in these, when you are pushing, so...
So I was on for a 2:01, and I forgot that we're using the GT finish line and not the F1 finish line. Ugh. So there I was, 19th out of 21 on the grid. Really not a promising beginning. But with an hour's worth of driving ahead of me, all I could do was make the best of it.
Anyway, it looks like everyone's forming up now, so
We go.
we're getting ready to go.
Expect to see a decent launch from a bit further back in the grid, especially that Ferrari on the Astons. It's quite a good little car to get off the line with, so here we go. Britain's got a great start. Oh no. Bit of contact, but hopefully everyone makes it through.
Having got past the T1 chaos, I'd gained a couple of positions, but I was still very nervous and being as careful as I dared be. Because my inclination is, when in heavy traffic, to be ultra careful and, yes, very quick on the brake and slow on the accelerator. That's not a good racing instinct, but it does keep me alive more often than not. In this case, it put me behind a gentleman named Norman Bruce of Scotland, who was going to find himself in a very unfortunate position, a fact for which I am wholly responsible. Now, I want you to watch what happens, and specifically what Bruce does as we come up to Brooklands. What I do afterwards will be entirely self-explanatory.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Now, for those of you who didn't notice, when Bruce comes up to Brooklands, he makes a slight jog to the right as if he's understeering, and I see a hole opening up and make a split-second decision to go for it. This puts me into what is commonly called the vortex of danger. And, of course, when Bruce closed the door again, I was right there to take him entirely out. That was completely my fault, and I don't know if it spoiled Bruce's race because he was a backmarker like myself anyway, but it certainly did him no favors. And it was definitely a mistake, an error that I committed. Sorry, whoever that was. In any case, the race must go on even when you've killed somebody. And thanks to various errors on other people's parts, I'd gained several positions above my starting position. This, of course, meant that the natural order of things had to reassert itself, and shortly thereafter, it did.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Of course, it was still early in the race, which meant that I was still in a position to gain from the misfortune of others. So, for every position I lost, I regained one, thanks to cars spinning out.
Another great improver from the SAM series as well, Overstreet. I know he's had a lot of trouble at the start of ACC, just not feeling the cars, not feeling the kind of grip, and it's great to see him at the moment pushing 14th, kind of right on the back of 13th and 12th.
He's definitely holding on to the back of them, and that's what you want to see. That's what it's all about. He's just trying to get to that point where you can just have consistent races and battles with people and make it through without incident. As we say, as the Lamborghini runs wide, he gains another.
With Jay Arts out of the way, the next person ahead of me was Nick Fuji, my fellow American. And as it turns out, he would be a very rare thing for me. An overtake on pace alone. Well, almost.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Thank you, Mr. Fuji, for backing out.
Hey, boy, I can see you faster. I could have done that earlier, but I was struggling with Mr. Page.
I'm not faster by a hell of a lot, if I am at all.
I might be faster, my front laps are at 29 right now.
By the time my fuel light came on and I came in for my mandatory pit, I had got all the way up to 6th position, which sounds nice until you realize that that was pretty much the last position of those who hadn't already pit. So although it felt nice to be that high, it was very, very short-lived. Thanks to a piss-poor placement when I came in for the pit, by the time I got back out onto the track, I came out behind Heiko van der Veen in 14th place, and I wasn't going to hold that position very long at all.
Matt Gray's doing really well as well. He's trying to close up on the back of Kris, so it's only 1.3 behind him. It's got him inside, so keeps it consistent. He'll be on the back of him soon.
Matt Gray's got right up in the back of Overstreet now. He's, after his pit stop, he's been flying. Cheers, Dino Man, 22 for the follow as well.
He's got those repairs on, so he's flying.
It's sometimes odd when you do half an hour of a race and then you come back out with a repaired car, and you've got to then figure out what you're actually doing.
Exactly. I mean, he did his fastest lap of the race last lap. Now he's got past him up the inside, so
that was a good move.
Yeah, I think Kris ran a little bit wide at Luffield, and Matt just saw the opportunity and took it.
I did my best to keep up with Mr. Gray, but he definitely had the better pace on me in open air when he wasn't making mistakes, as did Heike van der Veen ahead of him. So I kept falling further and further back. In fact, for whatever reason, I felt like I was doing slower after the pit than I did before the pit. Crap. I don't even know why I went slow through there. Just that I did. As it happened, this was a bit of an illusion, because I was doing just as fast after as before, and in fact my fastest lap of the race was towards the end of the race. But part of the problem, of course, is that usually other drivers find ways of improving over the course of a race, where I hit my wall fairly quickly, and then that's all I've got. Okay, that's much better. At least as far as holding position's concerned. Gray's gone.
The car had sector 1.
Got Heike catching up with the back of Weeks. He's having a really strong second half to this race. Is that Heike?
Yeah, he's obviously got the setup right for Silverstone today.
Really good to see. Solid lap times as well from him. And not far behind them two. If they get caught about, you got Matt Gray as well, which this could make it a really interesting battle here.
Yeah, we know he's been quick in the kind of second phase of the race as well. But 3 minutes left. We've got 1.5 seconds to catch them.
Really, with as little time as I had in the race, my only hope was for some severe squabbling leading to incidents by the people in front of me. And since there was maybe 2 laps to go at most, that really wasn't in the cards, or so I thought.
He's a bit late on the brakes, which is going to bring Gray into it. Nice, from attack to defence in literally a second. So easily done.
Shit. That was an unforced error, and it didn't ding me for a cut track. No, there it went. Still, it looks like I've got 14th locked down at this point.
Oh, we got Heike and Matt still together. And they've still got half lap to go. Oh, Matt's got a good run. Heike's defending.
This is so close.
This is going to be a great finish. Oh, Matt's got a good run through. Can Heike hang it around the outside though?
Oh no!
It was
Don't cut the track here, boys. Get back on it. both got back on the
That's
track.
alright.
'Cause,
They're still battling. They're still squabbling. Oh, come on.
keep it clean, boys.
Come on.
Something's happened to them. Was that going to be enough to bring me into the fight? Well, no.
I'll be 13.
Oh, 13.
Yeah, but still really good result.
Oh, great.
Considering the early dramas at turn 1, he was off the track. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
really, really good. Oh,
That was I was going to do a donut or something, was it?
Yeah.
And,
so,
yeah.
they just wanted to have a little love kiss at the end.
yeah, great drives from Overstreet and Fuji as well.
Yeah, really, really
Yeah.
solid.
Well, all I can say is I have improved somewhat since the Silverstone Social last month.
You did amazing, mate. You really did amazing.
A few days later, I drove another race for comparison in Assetto Corsa, this one at Donington, driving Fun Cup cars. Now, I did much worse in this race than I did in the ACC race at Silverstone, but I had a lot more fun. And the flat fact of the matter is, Assetto Corsa Competizione looks better, the user interface is somewhat better than Assetto Corsa, but it only does GP racing, and GT racing is misery for me. Whereas Assetto Corsa offers a wide variety of cars, thanks to both the huge number of cars in the game and all the mods that are available for it. You can drive on practically any track, in practically any car, and thanks to simracing.gp, you can find racers for pretty much any of it. When I'm driving an ACC, I'm more or less enduring the experience. I only get a bit of pleasure out of my favorite tracks, and there are other tracks like the Hungaroring, which I absolutely detest. Whereas here, in Assetto Corsa, even the bad tracks, I have fun at. Even when I'm losing and losing badly, I'm having fun. Even when I'm screwing up royally, I'm having some fun. All in all, I just enjoy Assetto Corsa far more than I will ever enjoy ACC. And although I no longer say absolutely no to Assetto Corsa Competizione, I mean, I've just signed up for a race in about a week and a half right now, I am definitely going to be preferring Assetto Corsa, the older game, for my online racing experiences. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you had a better time than I did actually driving at Silverstone. And that's a phrase that I'm not going to say very often. See you next time for hopefully a more positive racing experience. Later, everybody.